Hello, hello. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Writing to Write, where I used to give question. Wow, it's a Monday. Sorry, where I used to give questionable writing advice through running metaphors, but since switched over to hosting these productivity sprints. If you can't tell, it has been a mentally draining day for me. I am on a fast sprint project, and I have another intense project starting up on Thursday, I think, which I don't know how I'm going to get started because I haven't been given the work I need to start it. So while I'm working on a crammed timeline for the current project, I need to also pester the client to get me what I need to actually test their stuff and somehow validate that it all works. So that is the recipe for stress. Richard, Adriana, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for hanging out. Let's see here. As far as the weekend, yeah. It was pretty relaxing. I am focusing on the thumbnail or whatever, so it is now pollen season, and that means that when I get back from a run, I need to just douse my entire face in water and then wash all that gunk off because it is. There are literal like I'm running towards the woods, and I can just see like a cloud of pollen that I know I'm about to be running through, which is always fun. Yeah, recipe, if you will. Well put, Richard. Aside from that, this weekend was pretty fun. Got to play a lot of games, got to actually sleep in, got to be lazy for a little bit. I read half of one of the Dungeon Crawler Carl books. I don't remember which one I'm up to. I think it's like 4 or 5. I have it all in my ebooks, so whatever number I'm on, that's what I'm doing. I think he's on the 5th floor. I feel like he's on the 5th floor. Ooh, all right, Richard. Tonight you're finishing draft 4 of Ray of Light, and your submission deadline is tomorrow. I am terribly sorry, Richard. That is really, really stressful. Good luck. Try not to overly stress about it or stay up all night. And yes, why don't you dry your clothes in America? Why don't you line dry your clothes in America because everything will be yellow in an hour? Yeah, yeah. Our car doesn't matter how often I wash it or whatever, or how often it rains. Within at this point 10, 15 minutes, it is just covered in orange and yellow pollen. So it is that season again. But fun times. Oh, and in terms of writing, I also finished another iteration of my novel. So I'm going to start back on chapter 1 tonight. And then I'm going to, for the second 2 sprints, work on some kind of, I'll call it background stuff, where I'm going to be working through and looking at the words that I use a lot. So for instance, I did string searches. I have 155 instances of all. I have 42 of still, 60 untils, 50 instances of but, 40 instances of even, clench is 7, just is 12, etc., etc., etc. Oh, 45 onlys, which is nice. And some of the, I mentioned this before, but some of the typical crush words like really and actually don't necessarily apply because the context is important. It's not saying something was, really difficult. It's me saying this is really real. Or is this person really there? Because there's a lot of mental moments in the story where things aren't exactly as they appear. And so there's a lot of references to what is real and what isn't real, as opposed to, like I said, using really as, I guess, an adverb. That sounds about right. I don't know. I was never good at English. Uh-oh, we froze. That's not good. Oh, my video froze. Richard, can you still see me or let's see, title. Yeah, I mean, I have a title. I'm still working with it. I think right now it's Chasing the Beacon. So, fun reveal there. Good, I've unfrozen. Were you able to hear me that entire time, or was I just talking to the empty void? I don't know. Either way, I'm about to get started on 30 minutes of sprint. So if you want to be productive, feel free to join in. Feel free to do whatever you like. And I am going to work on chapter one, maybe chapter two, and then I will carry through whatever chapter in the second sprint. I will work on finishing that and then working on those repetitive words. Because in a week and a half, I am sending off my manuscript to the copy editor. So things are moving along. And anyways, I will see you all in 30 minutes. Good luck. Have fun. Richard, get writing. And welcome back, everyone. It was a slow going for the first half hour, for the first sprint. I only finished one chapter, but I think my opening chapter is pretty darn good at this point. And so I'm comfortable having this be the beginning because after the copy editor goes through it, I'm not going to really want to make a whole lot of changes because after that, I'll be the proofreader. And then, well, I can make a few smaller changes, but I'm going to try and keep things as consistent as possible. So that way, when the proofreader, that way I'll have everything set up so that when the proofreader goes through, I can kind of have a final version of my book. And then it'll be ready to print. So that is progress. Let's see, Miss Page. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining in. You open tabs early doesn't mean the computer will let you know. Yeah. There are some browsers with YouTube where it doesn't actually actively start if you aren't looking at it. And I'm sure it's some way to guarantee that the video gets views, or it's a way to not skip commercials, or I'm sure there's some stupid reason why browsers do that. I do like how other browsers kind of ignore that and let you do whatever you want. So you can have a YouTube video up. When it starts playing a commercial, you can mute it, click away, and then come back a minute later and then rewind to where you were. So that way yes, it's the best of a bad situation where the advertisement is still getting the views, unless you're using some kind of ad blocker, which strongly encourage, but you aren't actively watching it. It's kind of like how when I'm watching something on Amazon, when I'm streaming something on Amazon, like Invincible, and a commercial comes up, I usually just take the opportunity to go into the kitchen, wash dishes, go upstairs, brush my teeth, do whatever. And let's see here. Had to reboot. Uh-oh. All right. Well, looks like Miss Page, you're working with Facebook. Good luck. I know that working with stories can be quite difficult. Ooh, congratulations, Richard. You finished draft 4. That's awesome. 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 You are much further along than I am in terms of getting things out. And I really hope, well, let everyone know where they can find your book, because apparently it is coming out tomorrow, or you need to submit it for tomorrow so that way it come out in like the next 2 or 3 days. Either way, or as much as I will before the submission deadline. Fair enough, Richard. Fair enough. Awesome. Yeah, Miss Page, glad you are back up to working order. Radiant Life. Hello, hello. Thank you, thank you. Or sorry, Radiantly Mars. Thank you for joining in. What time zone are you in? Oh. You're getting some house chores done, maybe some more writing. All right. Oh, wow. We're over 2,200 words today. Congratulations. That's awesome. I did not do that. I am simply editing. I think it's like 3,500, but I might have added one word, taken out 20, maybe 30, maybe 40. Don't know. Pacific time. Cool, cool, cool. Nice. Okay. Cool. Well, it's out this weekend, so feel free to post a link for what you're working on. Or, sorry, for the final product. SD Fusion stream is always when you wake up. Yeah. I get that. There's always a lot of. I want to obviously join in everybody's different streams, but it's so hard because a lot of them are when I'm at work and time just goes loopy when I'm on the job, and sometimes I remember to sign in and just have the YouTube video going, and I hit like and do all the YouTube things, but a lot of times I just Start start my day off, start tapping away at the computer, and I look up and it's noon and everything is still not done. Yeah. Yeah, I know. There are multiple spreadsheet trackers showing when everybody does their own productivity sprints. So, join what you my thing is always just join what you can, join when you remember, and I guess support everybody as best you can. That's the best way we can do it. Obviously, no, what's the old line? Well, doesn't really apply here, but no one can do everything, but everyone can do something. That's something my elementary school had like posted up on the walls. Ah, pop in and out a few times a week, but pick a few favorites that you can actually work with. That's great. Thank you, Miss Page. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Ooh, you cut 1,300 words from the strat. I'm trying to remember. Was it? I think you were at like the 40 to 60,000 word range, so that would probably drop you down to about 40, maybe 35. Is my mental math anywhere near close? Oh, you rewrote the same amount. Never mind. So you're back up to 60,000? Don't remember. No, I'm saying you cut 13,000 words, but how many thousands of words are there total? Was it like, it was like 60,000, wasn't it? Maybe 70, 68,000? Can't remember. Ah, cool. 32,000 words. Nice. Anywho, let's get started on the second sprint so we aren't here all night. And I am going to be focusing on the specific words. Best way I can put it. So, like I said, I have a whole bunch of words that I overuse, all, only, until, every, and I'm just going to try and figure out whether or not I can cut them, whether or not I can reword some phrases and make things more dynamic as I go through it. So, I will see you all in 20. All right. I removed about 10 different instances of the word all from my book, which is harder than it sounds. That's the best way I can put it. So we are at a whopping 165 instances of all. I also went through and there were some coloring issues where they traveled to different places, and I wanted to have a wider spread of the colors. So hopefully I found a couple of places where now the colors are much, much different, like the grass, the sky, etc. And hopefully I didn't leave any lingering instances. I did a pretty deep string search there. I tried to trace things through, and I guess I'll have to read through it another time to make sure that the colors all add up correctly and that I didn't miss an instance of where now the grass is orange or the ground is orange and it should have been purple or vice versa. That is what I'm going for. Let's see how things were looking with all of you. It's gone from 51. So, Richard, your novel went from 51K down to 33,000. That's pretty good. I'm sure it's a much more streamlined story now. So, I'm interested in rereading. And ooh, you formatted the ebook and submitted it. Congratulations. I guess take the night off, enjoy whatever you're doing, relax this week before you dive right into the next project. Let's see here. Radiant, you ran the dryer for longer. You swept the kitchen. Dining room entry. Wow. Public trying to convince you to sit outside and general pickup. Yeah. Dogs have a way of doing that. Mine is also very lazy, high maintenance pup. Well, not puppy, but he adores attention. And so it's very easy to get distracted and just sit on the couch and pet him or to just decide to give up on a night and read next to him. And then every so often, just reach over and start petting him again. He's a good boy. No, Richard, color does not have a U in it. I spelled it correctly here. Let's see. Miss Page ran through your notes from last night and caught up to yourself. Caught up to where you were. Look at a handle on the major points of the arc. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The specific beats next round. Cool. Yeah. Sometimes it's so mean to my dog. But sometimes he kind of acts like a little snot. So he was refusing to come in. And I was, he went outside to pee. It wasn't really a nice day outside. Like the temperature just dropped. I can understand if he's outside, he sometimes wanders around. Sometimes he'll just go over to the grass, go over to the dirt, whatever, and just sit down and like enjoy himself, take a nap. But it was cold. And so he refused to come in. He refused to look at me, which meant that he was just sitting there. My blind dog was just sitting there staring at the wall. And so, of course, my wife came in and took a picture because him and my last dog, Rufus, just give me no respect. Like, I knew it was cold outside. I knew he had to pee, so I just let him out. And I was trying to bring him back in because it's cold out. And I knew he wanted to go back on the couch, get in the blankets, do whatever. And he just refused to budge, refused to look at me, refused to give any indication that his ears are not for show. Yeah. And so, yeah. So we do assist our dog up and down the stairs. He's very headstrong. He's also top heavy. So I don't know. Somehow he kind of like the way he walks, it looks like he's got these jacked arms and he's not very well prone to walking down steps and he is like a bull in china shop is the best way of putting it. He bravely just jumps ahead, like when he's jumping off the couch. There, we have a coffee table there, which has sharp corners, and even if they're not sharp corners, it still isn't comfortable to jump off something into a hard surface. And so he kind of makes an indication that he wants to jump off the couch before he'll usually do it. And so we have like a split second to just drop whatever we're doing and like kind of leap in front of the table so that he has a cushion backing and doesn't hurt himself. he he's a very strong-willed dog, and he is deceptively smart. And as always, he is of course incredibly lazy because he has, you know, he's four years old and has a in-house chef, a chauffeur, a caretaker, a walker, etc., etc., etc. Follow me for more tips, for more life tips. Yes, he was very sweet and warm and gentle. Not for me though. It's really funny. Adriana will go out and clean up the yard or whatever. So she'll be outside for 20, 30 minutes, whatever. As soon as she comes back in, he will look up and like kind of track her as she moves around the house because he can hear her. I'll go out for a run. I'll go out for an hour and a half, whatever. I come back. He doesn't even lift up his head. Anyways, let's do the third and final sprint. So that way I can not be late with dinner. So hopefully we all are doing great work, being productive. And let's see here. Mom-in-law dogs are extremely old. Can't smell, can't hear, but still love treats and have adopted the rescue cat in the pack. That's lovely. Yeah, and just like Rufus, I'm the one who feeds him more often. Sometimes. I don't know. It's a lot less structured because usually I will walk him and then feed him. But because Boone doesn't like going for walks, we just let him out back. We've kind of just, I don't know, feed him whenever he needs to be fed. Anyways, I will see you all in 20 minutes. I'm going to try and tune up some of the words. Hello, welcome back. I did a couple more tune-ups of specific words and trying to remove my justs, my alls, my buts, my onlys, etc. And it kind of worked, I think. So I am tuning up the language piecewise at a time. I have one more week of productivity sprints, so I will see you all next Monday, and then I will be sending this off to my copy editor. And let's see. Oh, S.C. Houston, thank you for joining in. What's up, Shannon? Awesome to see you. And yes, please do hit that like button. Do the YouTube things. Let's see. I don't know why Booney's attached to me, especially because I'm full-time in the office now, but maybe because I was home, not working when we first got him. Yeah, I think it might also be kind of the reverse, where even though because I'm here throughout the day, he doesn't necessarily care. And so when you get home, when Adriana gets home, it's, somebody new, it's exciting. And yes, she'll spend all the rest of the night with Boom, but it's that initial I don't know, moment of excitement, I guess. Let's see here. Radiant, you hung out the sprint. Perfectly fine. Just winding down. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, I will be the first to say that winding down with resting, taking a nap is absolutely productive. But let's leave next sprint. Oh no, well, I'm all done with sprints, so I only do 3. It's 1:30 and then 2 20 minutes, and now it's time for dinner. So you aren't leaving, or you're not missing out on anything. I'm going to close up. And with that, I will see you all next Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern time, as I do the final prep to get my 4th manuscript to the 2nd editor. Whew. I wish I could. There's too much to do. Let's see. Shannon finished reading beta comments and sent an email to a beta reader. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Miss Page, you were shuffling scenes in the second half of the book to see if it increases tension. Cool. I hope it worked out. And I will see you all next Monday night, 6 p.m. Take care.